Hello again, everybody, and welcome to my CDT favorite gear. And if you've watched any of my previous favorite gear videos, you're going to see a lot of overlap here. That's because a lot of my favorite PCT gear I actually took on the CDT, and most of it survived the whole trail again. So this is kind of like a best of the best gear that's definitely going to last for a through hike, possibly for two. I don't know. But anyways, let's just jump right in. And I always kind of hesitate to put this on the gear list because it's a homemade quilt that I made. But I mean, I really like this quilt. It's always kept me warm. It's always, every day when it's cold, at the end of the day, I just think about getting in this quilt and being warm, and it's really nice. And it happens on the CDT, it happens to be pretty unpredictable. So a lot of times it's going to be really cold and it's just going to jump right at you. So it's nice to have something that's a little warmer than you would think you need, just in case there's a cold snap or a freak snowstorm like happened probably every month of the year I was on the CDT. So yeah, this is a 900 fill power down quilt. It was water resistant down, which has worked out well. This came from the PCT as well, and it's still going strong. I've noticed a little bit of a decline in the fill power of the down, or at least the loft, I guess would be the proper term. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to fill this quilt and keep it and use it because I really like it, but there's a couple things I wanted to improve about the design, and I'm going to be building a new down quilt. And actually I'll be doing a video on that, so if you're interested in making a down quilt, stay tuned, there's more to come on that. But anyways, if you want something equivalent, maybe check out Enlightened Equipment Quilts. They have some good stuff as well that's pretty light. So that's the down quilt. Speaking of staying warm, this is a Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer down jacket. It's 7 ounces, which is super light, and it's not a heavier down jacket, so it's definitely something that's going to keep you warm, but you're not going to be winter camping in this thing. It's kind of like a fringe season between 3rd and 4th, almost into winter but not quite. It's a really nice jacket. It's water resistant down. I think it's 800 fill power, but it's going to keep you warm when you're out of your quilt. And I like, as soon as I get into camp, I just throw this jacket on and I'm warm. That's just assuming it's cold out, but it's definitely not a full-on down jacket, so don't expect it to be the end-all be-all of winter camping. It's more of a fringe season type of thing. But at 7 ounces, you can't really beat that. And often on cold mornings, I would start off in that jacket, but I mean, you have to take it off after about 20 minutes, otherwise you'll be sweating. So it's a good way to start cold mornings and get your body warm before you take off on the trail. Okay, what else do we have? The good old Lecky trekking poles, hard to beat them. These came from the PCT. They're still going extremely strong. I have replaced the tips quite a few times because the tips tend to wear out as you hike. And you can see here, these are starting to get rounded off. This one definitely more so than the bottom one. But yeah, the tips have to be replaced every so often. The poles have gone strong. Only thing I've noticed now is I've worn out the foam on the handles, so I'm going to have to replace those at some point. And these are not the lightest poles, but I've never really felt like light poles were necessary, because they're in your hands. Honestly, they just keep your arms slightly more toned, so it's not really a big deal if your poles are heavy. Lecky poles, and Lecky has great support, unlike Black Diamond, who tend to just kind of say, there's your poles, deal with them. Lecky, if you have problems, in my experience, they'll fix them as soon as they can. So, another classic staple that has been with me on every single trail is the Snow Peak Trek 700 pot. As you've probably heard me say in the past, the lid on this thing is really heavy. Just scrap it and put some aluminum foil over the top. It's a 700 milliliter pot, really nice for cooking for one person. I can't think of anything you can't cook that would feed one person in this thing, including macaroni and cheese, which I sometimes do. It's got measurement markings etched into it so you can measure out your water for your meals. Really nice. This mesh bag keeps, if you ever cook on fire, it'll get a little ashy. and this mesh bag keeps your bag from getting ashy when you stick your pot in it. And this is the original bag. It has holes, but it's still going strong after 3 through hikes. Really like this pot. I've always looked into upgrading, but I just can't justify it because this pot's so good. And to heat the pot, this is a Snow Peak Light Max 2-ounce stove. Again, it's been with me on every trail. You're probably sick of hearing about it by now, but it's a great stove. It's a great canister stove. You may have noticed on trail I hiked with an alcohol stove for a while because I couldn't find fuel, but honestly I much prefer canister stoves. And really in the long run they come out to weigh about the same per mile, and they're just really easy to use. It's nice to just come in at the end of the day and instantly heat something up and eat it. Snow Peak Light Max, and that's about a 2-ounce stove. Okay, Darn Tough socks, another one of my favorites. They are merino wool, really comfortable, really good at wicking away moisture or sweat, and they have a lifetime warranty. So as you can see, as they start to wear out, which they definitely will on a through hike, you can see this one has some holes forming there. You just send them in and they're replaced. And I know I've had people ask me if I'm sponsored by Darn Tough because I recommend them so much, and I'm not. But the cool thing is, if you just buy 3 pairs of Darn Toughs, it's basically like being sponsored because you have socks for life. You can just send them in when they get holes. So I really recommend these. These are the quarter cushion Trek sock, I think they call it. They have a couple different ones if you like higher socks. Socks go into shoes, and of course these are the only shoes I ever wear hiking. Shoes are a really personal thing though, so make sure if you're looking for shoes, get your own pair, whatever fits you. It doesn't have to be this brand, but these are what I like, and I'd recommend you try them if you need a good pair of hiking shoes. This pair in particular did all of Colorado, but they still have some miles left in them. Tread's starting to wear down, but they're doing pretty well. But yeah, just in general, these shoes grip the trail really well and almost never slip. They're super comfortable, I don't get blisters in them, and they're supportive. La Sportiva Wildcats are the shoe name if you haven't seen them on my other videos. So after hiking, when I get in at the end of the day, in order to keep warm and be really comfortable, I have Patagonia. These are Capilene 4 underwear, long johns, whatever you want to call them. But I think actually Patagonia just switched up their naming system, so it's no longer Cap 4, Cap 3, and so on. It's like lightweight, midweight, and thermal weight, and these are now classified as their thermal weight. And you can see, if you look here, it's actually a baffling system. So they take this fleece and it's raised up a bit in rows, so it's like a baffle, so it traps air against your body. So they're really warm, super comfortable to sleep in. I look forward to getting in these every night, and they're really nice. The only thing I'll say is, well, actually, first I'll say that this Cap 4 stuff is actually lighter than the Cap 3 was because it's baffled. The only downside is that it's a little more open to the wind. So if you're using these in the wind, you're going to want to shell over them because the wind tends to cut right through the little baffles in there. But other than that, they're warmer and lighter than Cap 3 and really comfortable. Pretty lightweight for what they are. I'd recommend them if you want long johns. And so this is just a general hat and sunglasses recommendation for the CDT. Doesn't matter what they are. I like polarized lenses. If that matters to you, it really cuts on the glare, and it helps to see fish if you're fishing. But when you're on the CDT, you're exposed a lot, and you're going to see a lot of sun, and there's no trees around, so you really need to make sure you cover your skin and your face and eyes well so you don't burn. I started with this OR hat that has a nice protective, kind of wind protective and sun protective, I don't know what you call that, piece of fabric that goes over the back of your neck. And that was nice, but this elastic piece here always caused the hat to just slip off my head, so it was really annoying. I got tired of this hat and ended up just getting a thrift store hat, which was much better and actually breathed a little better in the back as well. If you want a recommendation, this is still my favorite go-to hat with a brim. It's just like a North Face brimmed hat, and it's really good at keeping the sun off, and it's got a strap so it doesn't blow away. I didn't have this on the CDT, but I really wished I did. And if you're hiking southbound, and this year was my first time southbound on a trail, you're going to have the sun in your face for a good part of the day, so it's really good to have a brim. Okay, another standard go-to for me is my Tikka Xp, which is a decent light, but what makes it cool is this little rechargeable pack that I have on it. And this pack, I honestly, you can't find it anymore. Maybe I shouldn't even recommend this, but it's a lithium pack that you can recharge your headlamp with via USB, which is super easy because I have that little battery you probably have seen in my videos. So I can recharge my headlamp on the go if it runs out of battery. And when I'm in town, I just plug it in for a little bit and it's good to go. Sawyer squeeze, not the mini. The mini is horrible. I started off with the mini because it was all I had, but luckily someone sent this to me, and again, thank you for that. But this really, I mean, is essential on the CDT. You're going to run into a lot of cow poop water. You're going to run into a lot of nasty sources, and you'll be thankful you have this. Optimus spoon, my favorite piece of gear, as I've said often. It's just nice, it's light, it's durable, it's lasted all 3 trails. It's got this nice shiny surface to eat off of, so you're not scraping your teeth on this rough stuff. Good spoon, long enough to reach into the bottom of a Ziploc or a mountain house. This Bic lighter has lasted me for all 3 trails somehow. It's a mini Bic, still going strong, and that's just really impressive to me. So if you need a lighter, just get a mini Bic. Okay. This is Therm-A-Rest size regular Neo Air. Awesome to sleep on. Many of you know I started on a ridge rest type of mat this year, which was nice, and it was comfortable, but not comfortable enough for me, and it was so bulky on top of my pack it was kind of annoying. The only nice thing about this is you can just throw it on the ground and not worry about it and be done, go to sleep. Therm-A-Rest Neo Air, super comfortable, makes you look forward to sleep every night, makes you sleep well every night, and it's light. I mean, it's 12 ounces. The only downside is having to blow it up before you go to bed. That can be annoying because you just got done hiking all day and you just want to go to sleep, but you have to blow this huge mat up. But it's not so bad, you get used to it. And the good sleep you get is so worth it. This is a Columbia Silver Ridge long sleeve hiking shirt. It lasted the entire trail. I wore it all day, every day. It's comfortable, it's really breathable, it's vented. You can see there's some vents here in the back, and it's got vents under the armpits. It's vented everywhere. It's really nice, really wicks away the sweat well. It's got a pop-up sun collar, so like a little extender on the collar that protects your neck from the sun, which is nice. And it's just a really good all-around shirt. It's durable and comfortable. Not much else to say about it. Columbia Silver Ridge. And they have some cool designs other than your standard white sun shirt. Alright. Again, my DIY tarp that I made. And if you saw my last video on trail, you can see that this tarp is still going strong and can still take quite the beating from the wind. So it's been great. I mean, it keeps the rain off of me. It's 8.5 ounces, super light, and I'm always comfortable. It can fit 2 if you have to, and it's just a good tarp. Again, it's homemade, so I kind of hate to recommend it because I'm not sure, there's not really something comparable You just have to look around on some of the cottage gear sites and try to find a tarp that suits you. My backpack, Granite Gear Crown VC. Very nice pack. I really like it. It's just kind of one tall pocket, simple pocket design with drink pockets and a big mesh pocket for all sorts of random stuff. It's been super durable. The padding has been great. It just now started to wear off at the end of this trail, but keep in mind that's after doing the entire PCT as well. So this is a great pack. I would definitely recommend trying it. It carries the load very well, and if you have to overload it a bit, it'll still carry a heavy load well, unlike a lot of the other soft packs. The only downside to this pack is the lack of hip belt pockets. You'll have to buy one as an upgrade if you want them, and I kind of hate that. But other than that, maybe give this pack a try. It's a really nice pack. And to go along with that, a Granite Gear, it's called a air zip sack, I think is what they call it. And this is what I use for my food bag, mostly for the second half of the trail. But you can see it's got a nice rectangular shape here, which packs really well. You can just kind of drop it. I drop it vertically down into my pack. But what's even nicer is it's got this horizontal zip, so you zip it open and all of your food is just right there for you to grab, unlike a tall dry sack where you have to reach all the way down in to find whatever you want. With this food bag, it's all there right in front of you. It's really nice. And it's a lightweight bag for what it is. So I'd recommend that. Granite Gear, and this is a 16-liter air sack. You can find those online anywhere. And my final piece of gear, which is a specific recommendation to the CDT, although it would do well on other trails, is a Tenkara fishing pole. I did some amazing fishing this season, and it wouldn't have been possible without one of these poles, because I definitely wouldn't want to carry the weight of a typical fly pole. So this was really nice. This is a Tenkara USA Sato pole, and this is a good pole. I'll be doing a review on this, like I've said before, coming out soon. But yeah, it's so light. This is, with the line and the flies, this is under 3 ounces, so you can't beat that for fishing. So if you're into fishing, check it out. There's more videos to come on that. So that is all of my gear. I'll be putting a link up on my blog with links to this gear if you want to check it out online. So thanks for watching, stay tuned, and I am now introducing a Patreon channel for people to support me and keep this channel moving and growing into something better than it is, and hopefully into a more legitimate YouTube channel. So check it out, and I appreciate it. Hope to see you soon.